pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Burns.
Here.
Collins. Here. Cottle.
Here.
Herbie.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Southall.
Is there a motion to excuse? Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move to excuse Council Member Southall.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we will excuse Councilman Southall. Is there any discussion on the motion to excuse? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to excuse Councilman Southall, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Southall is excused. Next item on the agenda is the minutes. You all received copies of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Item number 3, presentation. The first item on the presentation is June Business of the Month Award to Kung Fu University. Mr. Paul Brim, to come forward, please.
Mayor, members of council, thank you very much. Last month, we joined representatives from the Forest Park Chamber of Commerce in welcoming Kung Fu University to our growing business community. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held at their new location in the Promenade Shopping Center to commemorate the occasion. We always enjoy working with family-owned small businesses, and Kung Fu University is the latest example of this trend. This venture is a husband and wife team. Tiffany and Alonzo Harper own and operate the award-winning martial arts training facility where they offer classes for young and old alike. At Kung Fu University, students enjoy an eclectic learning environment filled with a variety of support and services. And indeed, Alonzo and Tiffany have 40 years of experience collectively. They certainly have the ability to give their students the tools they need to grow and succeed. Their goal is ambitious: promote physical and mental wellness through the presence of Kung Fu in a positive environment built on hard work, leadership, and teamwork. Think about the positive effects you can experience in everyday life by attaining those: stress management, increased focus and mental clarity, higher energy levels, interaction with friendly and motivated people, reduction and elimination of negative habits, improved flexibility, balance and coordination, combat skills. I need to do this. So all of this and much more can be found at the university. And for more information, you can call their number at 818-5432 or go to their website, www.kungfu-university.com. And at that, I'd like to invite Alonzo Harper up to accept the award. I would like to tell you one of the great things, and I know all of you experience this in working with our small business people, this is one of the more enjoyable things we get to do because we're very fortunate to have hardworking, honest, really motivated small business people in our community, and our Alonzo and Tiffany are another example of that. So I just want to congratulate them.
Thank you.
Paul? Do we have a...
Sally is our...
Oh,
I got it.
it may be the plug down by the.
It's all about that. We'll do that.
This would help.
Thank you. City of Forest Park Business of the Month, Kung Fu University, in recognition of the company's contribution to the growth and development of the City of Forest Park. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, if you wait right there for just a second, please. At this time, we will hear any comments from council, if there are any. Councilwoman Herbie?
I had a nephew, not in Kung Fu, who was in karate, but I know that the martial arts do all of these kinds of things that Mr. Brim alluded to. It was a wonderful discipline for my nephew, and so I hope that you have the same effect on the children in Forest Park.
Yes,
Thank you for being
Same
here.
effect on me. That's why we're opening up.
Anybody else? Councilwoman Cobble?
Harper, it's so wonderful to have you here. We enjoyed visiting with you at your place of business, which is in the Promenade Shopping Center. You're just going to grow that place and bring it bright again. Thank you for your commitment from a very young age, and thank you for working with our children as well.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it.
Any other comments?
I appreciate your taking children from the sedentary world of computer and actually getting them moving again. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. That's actually the challenge right now is getting the parents to bring the children in so that we can get them away from the phone, the tablet, and the computer.
Anyone else? Okay. Being fortunate enough to have attended the ribbon cutting, the two things that impressed me more than anything else, one was the littlest member who is not here, the little baby. She's already starting to move in that direction, and I think I was there with a couple of the firefighters, Mike, my Assistant Chief Roop, and as well as Deputy Chief Jamal Hill, and between the three of us, I'd say that we really enjoyed all of the fresh fruit. I mean, that was pretty good. So, if you were, I'll be back for that if for nothing else. So, but again, thank you for opening your shop here. For those who don't know, it's over in the Prominent Shopping Center. Stop in. Take a look, and I think you're going to like what you see.
Yeah.
And again, congratulations, sir. We're glad to have you in Forest Park.
Thank you. If I add a small thing.
Sure.
The first lesson is always free. We always want you to come in and experience the class, see what it's like, see what it's about. If anything else, just come in and tour the facilities, have a conversation with us. If there's anything in the community that you need volunteers for, we most definitely want to come out and help and show our support for the city. So if there's any activities other than just looking on the website that you may have something that's coming up beforehand, just please reach out to us and let us know. We don't want to be a business that's just here and operating. We want to get to know the people and be of the people. So,
Again, thank you, sir.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Our next presentation is Oath of Office, Officer Joshua Kimball, and Chief.
I've already done this.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Joshua Kimball,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
the Charter
the Charter
of the Municipality
of the Municipality
of Forest Park, Ohio,
of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge
discharge
the duties
my duties
as Forest Park Police Officer.
as a Forest Park police officer.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting me be part of the team. I really am excited and looking forward to serving the citizens of Forest Park with excellent police service.
Chief, just stand with Forest.
Well, good evening, and we're back, which is a good thing for us because we hit 37, so that's a good thing for us. And actually, our next recruit comes out of the academy Wednesday, so we'll have him in here probably in a week or so, and to get the official swearing in. But tonight it's about Josh, and Josh he grew up on the west side of town and graduated from Western Hills High School in 2002. 2002. Wow, this is right. You said it first, though. Josh comes to us with experience, and he comes to us as a correction officer with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, which he started in 2005. He worked there until 2014, and then he was promoted to the Patrol Division. And you have to go through a whole separate test to do that, to come out of the jail and into the patrol, which he did. And for the last 2 years, well, he's been in law enforcement 12 years, but the last 2 years or so, he's actually been out on the road, and he's served in several different communities. I know Sycamore Township, I believe, He was in Silverton? Columbia Township, okay. So he's been in several communities from the Sheriff's Patrol, and I know a couple of his supervisors, and they both have recommended him very highly to us. So we're very, very glad to have him here. And with that, I'd like to invite his wife up, if you will, please. And I understand you practiced this, and he told you not to stick him, but that's not the rule. You can go ahead and do that, okay? If you would pin that. Very good. She is actually outranks me, so she.
Okay, hold on, Josh, just a minute. Okay, is there, would anybody, it's time for council comments. Would anybody on council like to comment? Councilwoman Collins.
Welcome to Forest Park, both of you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other comments? Councilwoman Herbie.
It's always a pleasure to swear in new people to both our fire department and our police departments. And so we welcome you here, or welcome your wife as part of the family, because we certainly appreciate the families of our service people. And so we hope that you'll have a good career here.
Thank
Stay
you.
with us for a long time.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Hope.
I just want to say welcome to the city of Forest Park. I think your number, is it 37? So welcome as number 37. You join a great crew.
Thank you. Appreciate
Hope you stick around for quite some time.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Connell.
Welcome to Forest Park. It's quite a family. We have the best police department and fire department in the world, and we really appreciate the safety they provide for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's just impressive that what was inferred that you went straight out of high school to serve.
Close.
Close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
That is phenomenal. And I appreciate you coming to Forest Park to do the same and exercise the experiences that you've had. You are setting such a great example for your family and others that it's just outstanding to find someone like yourself who has made that choice so early in their life. Thank you for coming. Thank you for letting us borrow him. And I hope you found a new home that you can stay just as long or longer than you stayed with the Sheriff's Department. Thank you.
Josh, thank you very much, and I want to thank your family, and we're all happy to have you here with us, and we look forward to you being here for a long, long time. There's a reason, obviously, that officers want to come and be a part of the Forest Park Police Department, and obviously that reason is excellence. And we believe that you're going to help us to continue down that road. And again, we look forward to you being around here for a long, long time. And again, congratulations, and thank you and your family.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. I believe the next item on the agenda is a motion to amend the agenda.
Oh, we can go.
One of you, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to amend the agenda and take up at this time item E under new business, a motion to appoint a candidate to the environmental awareness as board of directors.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that we amend the agenda and move up to item E, I believe it is, to swear in an appointee to the Forest Park Board of Environmental Board of Directors. Is there Any discussion? Hearing none, I believe this is a roll call vote. Would you call the roll, please?
Burns.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Cottle.
Yes.
Herbie.
Yes?
Holt. Johnson.
Yes. The motion to amend the agenda passes 5-0. So at this time, we will take up item number E with the motion. Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Teresa Rodriguez to the Environmental Awareness Board of Directors for the term expiring November 30th, 2018.
Second?
It's been moved and second that we appoint Mrs. Rodriguez to the Environmental Awareness Board of Directors. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to say thank you for volunteering to serve on a committee in the city. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to appoint Teresa Rodriguez to the Environmental Awareness Board of Directors, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We therefore appoint Ms. Rodriguez to the Environmental Awareness Board of Directors for the term expiring November 30, 2018. Ms. Rodriguez, if you would come forward, please. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Teresa Rodriguez,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio
the State of Ohio
and the Charter
and the Charter
of the Municipality
of the Municipality
of Forest Park, Ohio,
of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as a member
as a member
of the Forest Park
of the Forest Park
Environmental Awareness
Environmental Awareness
Board of Directors.
Board of Directors.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to have a word?
I just want to thank you for selecting me to serve on the board. And I moved here in 1968 and was raised in this community, so it is deep in my heart. And I used to help with the recycling drive that they had every month when I was a little kid. So I'm just, because of growing up in this community, I learned how important it is for the environmental. And I just want to continue that and want to see everything. I'm just really thankful that I can do this. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments? Oh, you get a pen. I'm not going to try to pin it on you. I'll let you do that yourself. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we get to say nice things about you. Please come back up.
I know Teresa, and I don't think I've ever heard her so soft-spoken. But we're very glad to have you, and I'm glad that you are involved. Thank you.
Thank you for your previous dedication to Forest Park, and we look forward to your dedication to come. Thank you.
Thank you. One other thing I wanted to mention is that I'm president of the Forest Park Women's Club, and all women are invited to come join us. Our membership introductory meeting will be August 17th at 7 o'clock. So if anybody wants to come, please come join us. We have lots of fun. Help out the community.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda would be motion. Councilwoman Herbie.
I move to amend the agenda to add as item F, resolution number 13-2017, a resolution delegating authority to make declarations of official intent and allocation with respect to reimbursements of temporary advances during fiscal year 2017 made for capital improvements and acquisitions for park projects to be made from subsequent borrowing, and make it the order of the day.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we amend the agenda to add an item F, resolution number 13-2017, which is a resolution declaring authority to make declaration of official intent and allocations with respect to reimbursements of temporary advances during fiscal year 2017 17 made for capital improvement and acquisition of park projects. Is there any discussion?
We are going to be reading this motion in full, so I think it will be self-explanatory.
Okay. Then we would move to, to yeah, it's an amendment to the, we're voting on the amendment to the agenda, so that's a roll call vote. The clerk call the roll, please.
Collins,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes,
Burns.
Yes.
the motion to amend the agenda passes 6-0. With that, then we would move, this would be an item under new business, so we would move next to communications from,
No, before you do that, we're taking it up as the order of the day.
taking it up as they are, so that's to be done first. Okay, so now we will have a motion for
Well, she
item.
has to read it.
No.
Oh.
We would have item F,
Read.
resolution number 13-2017. This motion must be read in full because it's the order of the day, so would the clerk please read this resolution in full?
Resolution number 13-2017, delegating authority to make declarations of official intent and allegations with respect to reimbursements of temporary advances during fiscal year 2017 made for capital improvements and acquisitions or park projects to be made from subsequent borrowings. Whereas Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2, the reimbursement regulations issued pursuant to Section 150 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, as amended, the code prescribes certain requirements by which proceeds of tax-exempt bonds, notes, certificates, or other obligations included in the meaning of the bonds under Section 150 of the code obligations used to reimburse advances made for capital expeditions as hereinafter defined, paid before the issuance of such obligations may be deemed spent for the purposes of Sections 103 and 141 to 150 of the code, and therefore not further subject to any other requirements or restrictions under those sections of the code. And whereas such reimbursements regulations require that an issuer, as hereinafter defined, make a declaration of official intent, as hereinafter defined, to reimburse any capital expenditure paid prior to the issuance of the obligations intended to fund such capital expenditures, and require that such declaration of official intent be made no later than 60 days after payment of the capital expenditure, and further require that any reimbursement allegation of the proceeds of such obligations to reimburse such capital expenditures occur no later than 18 months after the later of the date the capital expenditure was paid or the date the property acquired with the capital expenditure was placed in service, except that any reimbursement allocation must be made no later than 3 years after such capital expenditure was paid. Whereas the reimbursement regulations provide that an issuer may delegate the authority for making such declarations of official intent and allocations to one or more individuals, and whereas this council wishes to ensure compliance with the reimbursement regulations, and whereas this council intends to construct road and utility improvements related to the redevelopment program in the city, the city intends that the construction costs will be paid from the proceeds of municipal securities issued by the city for the project. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Forest Park, Hamilton County, Ohio. Section 1, definitions. That the following definitions apply to the terms used herein. Allocation means written evidence that proceeds of obligations issued subsequent to the payment of a capital expenditure or to reimburse the city for such payments. To allocate means to make such and allocation. Authorized officer means city manager or finance director of the city and any persons with authority at the time to exercise functions of those offices. Capital expenditure means any expense for an item that is properly depreciable or amortizable or is otherwise treated as a capital expenditure for purposes of the code, as well as any cost of issuing reimbursement bonds. Declaration of official intent means a written declaration that the city intends to fund capital expenditures with an issue of reimbursement bonds and reasonably expects to be reimbursed from the proceeds of such an issue. Issuer means either a governmental unit that is reasonably expected to issue obligations or any governmental entity or 501c3 organization that is reasonably expected to borrow funds from the actual issuer of the obligations. Reimbursement means the restoration to the city of the money temporarily advanced from other funds, including monies borrowed from other sources of the city to pay for capital expenditures before the issuance of obligations intended to fund such capital expenditures. To reimburse means to make such a restoration. Reimbursement bonds means obligations that are issued to reimburse the city for capital expenditures and for certain other expenses permitted by the reimbursement regulations previously paid by or for the city. Reimbursement regulations means Treasury Regulation Section 150-2 and any amendments thereto, or suspending regulations, whether in proposed temporary or final form, as applicable, prescribing conditions under which the proceeds of obligations may be allocated to reimburse the city for capital expenditures and certain other expenses paid prior to the issuance of obligations, such that the proceeds of such obligations will be treated as spent for purposes of Section 103 and 141 to 150 of the Code. Section 2, Declaration of Official Intent. The city declares that it reasonably expects that the capital expenditures described in Section B, which were paid no earlier than 60 days prior to the date hereof, or which will be paid prior to the issuance of any obligations intended to fund such capital expenditures, will be reimbursed with the proceeds of obligations representing a borrowing by the city or other governmental issuer in the maximum principal amount for such reimbursements of $185,000. And B, the capital expenditures made in the fiscal year 2017 to be reimbursed or to be used for the acquisition of real estate for municipal park purposes and related costs. Section 3, reasonable expectations. The city does not expect any other funds, including the money advanced to make the capital expenditures that are to be reimbursed, to be reserved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside by the city or any other entity with respect to the capital expenditures for the purposes described in Section 2B. Section 4, open meeting. It is found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this ordinance were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with the law.
Okay, yes.
In Section 1, the 9th paragraph, beginning with reimbursement regulations, you stated thereto or suspending regulations, and it should be thereto or superseding regulations.
Okay, where is it?
I think the word,
The
yeah.
last paragraph of Section 1, starting with reimbursement regulations.
It was a mispronouncement of a word. The wording is correct. Yeah, the written portion is correct. The last paragraph, John, of Section 1,
Under
second
reimbursement
line.
regulations,
Yes.
Yeah, it's referring to the current regulations or
Right.
any superseding regulations,
Yeah,
which would be
it was just
amendments. So-
mispronounced. Yeah,
So it's correct as
right, it's
typed.
correct as written, right. Okay, is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
Yes, I would move adoption of resolution number 13-2017.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 13-2017. Is there any discussion?
I don't know that that's necessary.
Any discussion? Hearing none. The clerk, please call Mr. Burns.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I read the reimbursement memo, or the memo from Harlita, and just in layman's terms, is it our intention or expectation that we would effectively purchase the properties that we discussed in work session and then seek a bond? Would we be seeking a bond to reimburse the city for that transaction? Or is this just getting set up, should we decide?
Mr. Hodges.
This is just getting it set up if you decide to issue a bond. Right now, we're buying it directly out of our cash reserves, and we're just paying the money. But we're leaving open the option that when we do our annual bond renewal note issuance, we may include this in there. But because of the timing of purchasing the property, there's no way you can issue a note at this point. So it doesn't change anything, it just leaves all your options open, that if you do decide to issue a note, that opportunity is still there.
Right. And am I hearing correctly that that portion of the note would only have a 3-year term? Or did I misunderstand it?
No, the note we generally are issuing annually.
Right.
We renew them, we pay off a portion of it, pay it down, and then we reissue it the following year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on resolution 13-2017?
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Resolution 13-2017 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda would be item G, communications from the public. This will be a time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anybody from the body who would like to address council on an issue? Sign in. Tell us who you are.
My name is Chelsea Nuss. I'm sorry. My name is Chelsea Nuss, and just had a question. Myself, along with some other neighbors on our street, we are having quite a bit of traffic that is coming down, and it is coming down extremely fast. I've taken upon myself to get a sign that says, it's a red sign with white letters, drive like your kids live here. And that's, some of our neighbors came out yesterday and we've kind of watched, so to speak, and we are seeing people kind of look at and kind of slow down a little bit. But what is it that we can do, so to speak, as a block or as a street to help? I don't know if it's a possibility of a speed bump. I know that's really I don't know if that's extreme, or maybe a stop sign, because they are just barreling through.
I would suggest that and give your contact information to us, and I will give it to Mr. Hodges, and he will take that up with both the police department and our public works director.
Okay.
Because they would need to look into it to see exactly what the situation is, and they would get back to you from that.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
What street are we talking about?
What street?
Holderness.
Okay.
And we've got upwards of 20 children that live just, and they're under 8th grade.
Okay.
That live on that street.
Mayor
Before you-
Johnson,
Yes.
there's also a speed sign that maybe could be looked into for the street. It's on Cary Hill now. and it actually shows people what the speed is and what they're going, which sometimes acknowledges that that's what you need to do, and that has been helpful for us.
Yeah, because by the time they get to that cul-de-sac, then they want to slow down. But, I mean, I think that's probably only a matter of time.
As I said, if you would give us, make sure that Mr. Hodges gets your contact information before you leave.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public want to address? Yes, ma'am.
Teresa Rodriguez. I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a meeting going on every Thursday night on Hanover. I don't know what can be done about that. It makes me nervous during the winter when it's like at least 2 dozen cars that are parked along there and Exmoor. And I know that one time the ambulance had to be called when Diana went over to pick up somebody that lived on that street, and her husband fell, and it blocked the entire street because there was nowhere for the ambulance to park and no way for people to get around there. And it's just, you start at Embassy and you're going down to Evangeline, and there's nowhere to pull over if somebody's coming towards you. So it's a safety hazard, and there's 2 to 3 dozen people inside that house.
I am very, very aware of that situation, and we have looked into that more than once. I don't want to say unfortunate part, but the reality of it is, be that as it may, every single car there is parked legally.
Right.
They don't park halfway over anybody's drive. They don't, they don't block people's drive. They don't park near fire hydrants. They don't park in no parking zones. It's just, it's a matter of, as long as they are legally parked, there's really nothing that, we can't cite them for something that they aren't doing wrong. I said, I know exactly where you're talking about. I've driven by there many, and it's every Thursday night, especially during spring, summer, and fall. In the winter, they tend to tail off somewhat, and sometimes over the summer, when school's out, these are college people, and some of them leave town or whatever. There's not as many. But, as I said, I know exactly where it is. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is something that we've looked at a lot.
And there's no ordinance about having a meeting inside somebody's house over a certain amount of people?
Well, actually, without going into great detail, they aren't, it's not a meeting per se.
Bible study.
Let me see how can John help me here. Let me say this as safely as I possibly can. If I wanted to have a couple of dozen people over to pray together, there's nothing that anybody can do to stop me from having people over to pray at my house, as long as I'm not violating, I'm doing it legally.
Okay.
I wish I could say we can do something, but I don't want to tell you we can do something.
I'm just concerned because they have so many people inside the house at one time. If something should happen, God forbid there be a fire or something, we don't want people being trapped.
I will ask, I'll obviously Ray is here, and so John, and they hear what you're saying, but to my knowledge, they aren't violating any laws. Councilman Irving.
I've looked into it too. I've spoken with both the police department and the fire department about street parking ordinances and also fire codes as they refer to houses. And there is really nothing that can be done about it.
Okay. Anyone else from the public? Hearing none, we are about to move to the next item, but as usual, before we do that, let me say that we're getting ready to go into our more business part of the meeting. You're welcome to stay if you want, but don't feel obligated. If you need to leave, feel free to do so. Thank you very much. Okay. Next item on the agenda would be reports of standing committees. The first of those reports would be Law Committee, Councilwoman Collins.
I have no report from the Law Committee at this time.
Any questions for Councilwoman Collins? Hearing none, Councilwoman Collins, at this time I have no items on the agenda for Law Committee for the work session on the 26th. Do you have any to add?
No, I don't.
Next committee report, Human Resources Committee, Councilwoman Holt.
I do not have a report from Human Resource, but I would like to say thanks, a big thank you to all of the people that took the time to put their flowers out and get your flag. I saw quite a few flags around the city. And I want to say thanks for keeping Forest Park beautiful. That will conclude my report.
Any questions for Councilwoman Holt? Hearing none, Councilwoman Holt, I have no items on the agenda for the work session on the 26th. Do you have any to add?
I just want to ask, I'm not sure where this will fall in there, but I had somebody to approach me to ask. I know that the city reimburses people, like if they go to the Y or something like that, there's a reimbursement. They brought it to me and asked why, if it's possible for the city to pair up or with Springdale and their community center and see if it's possible that there could be a reimbursement for that.
I don't have a full answer for that, but I'll make sure that that's passed on to our Parks and Recreation Director.
Okay.
I do know that there is some reimbursement. It is on a first come, first serve, because there is a definite amount of money that is expended each year for that. So, but to get further details on it, I'll make sure that somebody from Parks and Rec look into that and pass it, get that back to you.
Okay, great, thanks.
Next committee report is Public Safety Committee, Councilwoman Cottle.
I have no report this evening, thanks.
Any questions for Councilwoman Cottle? I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session on the 26th. Do you have any to add?
No, thank you.
Next item is is Ways and Means Committee, Councilwoman Herbie.
I have no report from Ways and Means, but in the absence of Councilmember Southall, who is the liaison to the Parks and Recreation Commission, I do want to mention that Jazz in the Park will be taking place August 5th, and there will be a Forest Park Community Day August 8th from 5:30 to 8:30 on the property of Winton Woods High School, and the rainout day will be Thursday, August 10th. And there is free food and drinks, games, raffles, prizes, and animals from the zoo. So, family-friendly event, so everybody is welcome.
Make sure you're in.
Okay, Mr. Hodges?
Yeah, I'll offer one comment. We've been working on that Community Festival Day, and the initial intent was for it to be on the high school parking lot. More recently, a couple issues came up that they might be sponsoring some other program, like an orientation program. So I only mention it that the event will occur. It may be only on the city's parking areas. We're still working on the details, but so there's no confusion. It popped up that the high school might be using it for another festival type orientation day, ironically.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilwoman Herbie, I have one item on the agenda for Ways and Means for the work session. That's disposal of surplus items. Do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Next report is Community Development. Mr. Burns?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report this evening, but I would answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions for Mr. Burns? Hearing none. Mr. Burns, I have no items on the agenda for you. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not. Thank you.
The next report is Intergovernmental Relations and Communications. That is my committee. I have no report. The one item that we will be discussing that's on the agenda for the next meeting is the summer recess, setting the summer recess days. I will, however, answer any questions if there are any. Thank you. We'll move then to item number 6, the mayor's report. I have no agenda, no item to discuss or no report at this point. However, I'll answer any questions if there are any. And none, we move to item number 7, city manager's report. Mr. Hodges.
Thank you. I'll only mention that the departmental reports have all been completed, included in the council packet, and also placed on file with the clerk of council for public inspection. I'll also indicate that work is moving along as scheduled with the repair of the basketball courts in Central Park. We have striped them, and we anticipate, weather permitting, that we'll have the backboards and rims up by the end of the week. But it is moving along as scheduled, and things are well in order. So by the end of the week, we expect to have it open again. That will conclude my report, but I would respond to any questions if there are any.
Any question for the city manager? Hearing none, we will then move to item number 8, other reports. The first of those, item A, will be Law Director, Mr. Waycross.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's been a couple of contractual issues I reviewed lately, including what's going to come before you tonight was it Resolution 11, 2017, which has been approved by myself. Also, a potential contract for our 911 service provider. In addition, I've been asked, and I did send a letter to the auditor regarding pending or threatened litigation claims and assessments. Unfortunately, there were none to report during that period of time. Other than those items, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the Law Director? Hearing none, thank you, sir. Next report would be Clerk of Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that resolution number 11-2017 was posted as required, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Dirksen. Any questions for Clerk of Council? Hearing none, we'll next move to new business. Item number 9, is there a motion? Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only ordinance numbers 5/2017 and 06-2017. These ordinances were posted 6 days prior to this meeting.
Second?
Been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only ordinances number 05-2017 and ordinance 06-2017. Is there any discussion?
No, thank you.
Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend the rules?
Herbie?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Cottle?
Yes.
The motion to suspend the rules passes 6-0. First new item on the new business, item A, is an ordinance number 05-2017. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 05-2017, amending annual 2017 appropriation ordinance 18-2016.
Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
Yes, I would move to adopt ordinance number 05-2017.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 05-2017. Is there discussion? Councilwoman Herbie.
This is just a necessary reappropriation to allow us to complete a land acquisition involving 44 acres of vacant land, and I would urge adoption of this motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance number 05-2017?
Holt?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Cottle?
Yes.
Herbie?
Yes.
Ordinance number 05-2017 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, item B, ordinance number 06-2017. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 06-2017, an ordinance authorizing an agreement between the City of Forest Park and the Board of Hamilton County Commissioners relative to the improvement of West Kemper Road and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
Yes, I would move adoption of ordinance number 06-2017.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance 06-2017. Is there discussion? Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, this ordinance is to accept an $11,700 grant from the county under their municipal road fund program to help pay for the resurfacing of Kemper Road from Southland to Ken. And it's a joint road improvement project between the city of Springdale and the city of Forest Park. I would urge adoption of this ordinance.
Any other discussion on the ordinance? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance 06-2017?
Johnson,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes,
Holt.
Yes.
Ordinance 06-2017 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, is there a motion? Mr. Burns?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read by title only Resolution 11-2017. This resolution was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
second.
It's been moved and seconded that we suspend the rules regarding the reading in full and read by title only Resolution number 11-2017. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend the rules?
Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes,
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Motion to suspend the rules passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, resolution number 11-2017. Would the clerk please read that resolution by title only?
Resolution number 11-2017, a resolution authorizing the city manager and the Forest Park Environmental Awareness Manager to enter into an agreement with independent contractors to provide funding and expertise for the residential energy efficiency program.
Is there a motion, Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move for the adoption of Resolution 11-2017.
second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 11-2017. Is there discussion, Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. After considerable negotiation and screening, the city has lined up 4 contractors who are qualified to perform the work for our residents under our energy efficiency program. Any resident that is interested in making their home more energy efficient and thereby saving their monthly utility bills could consider this program and have a choice of pre-approved contractors. This item was discussed during the work session as well, and there are some financial benefits that potentially can be gained, such as a 50% subsidy for the total, up to $1,000. So with that, I would urge the adoption of this ordinance. Thank you. Resolution.
Any further discussions on the resolution? Hearing now, would the clerk please call the roll on resolution 11-2017?
Collins,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes,
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Resolution 11-2017 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, item D, resolution number 12-2017. Would the clerk please read this resolution in full?
Resolution number 12-2017, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase 44 acres of real property on Waycross Road as part of the city's redevelopment program. Whereas a continuous, privately owned tract of 44 acres of land along Waycross Road has remained undeveloped for a variety of reasons, and whereas the owner has offered to sell this property to the city of Forest Park at a discounted price, and whereas the purchase of said real estate is consistent with the goals of the city's comprehensive plan and revitalization program, And whereas it is in the interest of the public safety, health, and welfare of the city of Forest Park to purchase this real property for $183,000, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the city manager is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with the property owner, Starlet Corporation, for the purchase of approximately 44 acres of real property on Waycross Road in accordance with the terms and conditions specified in the attached letter of interest marked Exhibit A and made a part of this resolution. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and take effect from and after its passage.
Is there a motion? Mr. Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move for the adoption of Resolution 12-2017.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 12-2017. Is there any discussion, Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we all know, Forest Park is in a position of having a scarcity of available land for development, and this 44 acres represents a recommendation from the staff to take advantage of this opportunity. This land has the merits in itself because it's a unique opportunity to control a tract within the 275 Beltway in one of our last remaining prime residentially zoned areas. Equally as important, the city will be able to shape its future with full control of this property, but ultimately the city will be able to recover the full investment that was previously mentioned. And with that, I urge the adoption of Resolution 12-2017.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on Resolution 12-2017?
Cottle?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Cottle.
Yes.
Okay. Herbie?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Resolution 12-2017 passes 6-0. Is there any further business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing no other business coming before the body, we're adjourned.